At least I can say that for sure from what I have seen. So let's quickly just give a few minutes to each group to share with us. This is going to be helpful because by sharing your findings with the entire class, everyone else will be enriched. Everyone else will be able to draw one or two insights from that again. It will be an extra for everyone as we glean from the ideas brought to the table from different quarters. So I have with me assignments in order of submission from group 6, 3, 1, 5, 2, and 4. Group 6, 3, 1, 5, 2, and 4. When the assignments came in via email, I made effort to respond to the emails, but I have a feeling I didn't respond to all. So if you sent in your assignment and you didn't get a response, you just have to forgive me. That's not standard practice. I'm certain I responded to the emails for majority of the groups, but just in case you didn't get my response acknowledging receipt of your assignment, please pardon me. So group 6 members, Nora Jackson, Sonny Olufolake, Azo Doris Chioma, Oseni Oluwatobi, Dafe Victor, Margaret Azuka, Sonny Oshefo, and Barbara Igele. Those are group 6 members. So who is giving us an overview? Group 6, please. Who is giving us an overview? I told you I will call on anyone, but can someone just give us an overview of what you did?
Okay.
Go ahead, Nora.
Okay, good afternoon, ma.
Good afternoon.
Okay, this is group 6. So our assignment was to conduct 2 interview sessions with female victims of spouse abuse using professional approach and unprofessional approach. So basically, in our society, spousal abuse is prominent, it's common, and we have basically 2 approaches, which is the professional approach and the unprofessional. The unprofessional approach is not presented here for illustrative purpose. It should never be used in real life situations because it doesn't propel solution to the victim. So when dealing with professional approach, you have to be, as a social worker, a counselor, or a psychiatrist or a psychological person, you have to be sensitive, you have to be professional about it, and then you have to be conscious of your tone, because this person is a victim. So everything matters as to how you handle the situation.
Thank you, Nora. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Sunny, are you there? Olufolake, are you there, please?
Yes, ma. I'm here, ma.
Yeah, can you share with us 2? Yes, I can hear you. Can you quickly share with us 2 professional approaches you have in your group work? 2 professional approaches to conducting that interview with the victim. Yeah, just 2.
Okay, I have a safety concern.
Okay,
and,
go ahead.
Like my colleague Laura just said, as a professional social worker, it is very important to understand the principle of empathy in delivering our duties Empathy is often defined as understanding another person's experience by imagining oneself in that other person's situation, like our victim. So, like the principle of empathy is the ability of another person. So, I'm going to talk about the safety concern. In safety concern here, we have there's a way we need to reframe some of our questions to them in order for them to be able to trust us to the level that they will share their problems and issues with us. So we can actually, hello ma, can we hear?
So what's the question? Give us the question that shows the professional approach to safety concern.
Okay, the question is, will you say you are the person in a safe environment where you feel free to discuss these issues? When we are asking our client this question, we need to show that they actually depend on us. Like we say, can you share? You can reframe the question in different ways. Can you share with us if you currently feel comfortable and safe enough to talk about your experiences in your current environment? We need to wait for them, not by forcing them, by just listening and let them come around before we can conclude on whatever they are saying. Then,
thank you. That makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. Thank you, Sonny.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, that question you have on safety concerns, would you say you are at present in a safe environment where you feel free to discuss these issues? You know, that's professional, because
yes,
it's giving 100% room for the client to express their minds. Nothing, the social worker is not assuming anything. You know, okay, let's go ahead. I don't want to preempt the group. So I'm going to ask that question 3. Would you say you are at present in a safe environment where you feel free to discuss this issue? You know, according to the group, the victim's response is, indeed, I'm in a shelter now and I feel a lot more secure. Now, Doris, Azu, are you there? Is Doris with us? I'm moving fast. So if I call anyone and the person isn't picking up immediately, I might have to move on. Oseni, Oluwatobi, are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Good afternoon. So the safety concern question, you can see that it has been professionally crafted. Like I said, there's no assumption here. The client is allowed, it's given room to say exactly what the situation is. Can you share with us an unprofessional way in which this particular question may be asked? This same safety concern issue, that question, you can see the professional manner in which the question has been asked. Is there an unprofessional way that same question can be asked?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you share with us what?
So when we are talking the unprofessional way of the safety concern, how it's being asked is like absence of safety assessments.
I'm talking about that safety concern question 3.
Okay, ma'am.
Can you just turn it around? Can you turn that question, that particular safety concern question? I know there is a section, there is another section for the unprofessional thing, but I want you to use that same safety question.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, go ahead.
Talking to the client. Yeah. Well, not bothering maybe the client safe where he or she is staying.
Yes. So in that case, how would the question be asked? Let's say this social worker doesn't really care about safety concern and is conducting an interview, or the social worker is not giving enough room for the client to express herself. What kind of question do you think the social worker might ask?
Like, let me put it this way. When you Can you discuss the issue of what is really happening? That using authoritative manner. Can you discuss the issue of what's really happening?
Yeah. As in your husband's house, that's an unprofessional question to ask. So your husband beat you this way. Are you still in his house?
Yes. Yes.
That's an example of an unprofessional way of asking that same safety concern. It's not like the person is not total absence of safety concern, but an unprofessional way of asking that question.
Okay.
Look at the professional way. Would you say you are at present? That is different from that your husband is treating you this way. Are you still in his house?
Okay.
No, that's unprofessional. So thank you.
Yes.
Dafe, can you talk about assessing resources? How can that be professionally handled? Or identifying resources? Is that there? Margaret Azuka. Absent.
Good afternoon, ma. Good afternoon, ma. Hello, ma.
Good afternoon, madam.
Yeah, for assessing resources.
Please, can you talk?
Okay. Hello, ma.
I'm with you.
Okay, for assessing resources, the social worker should put it in mind that the victim of the abuse might likely not have where to stay. So the question should, the social worker's question should be in such a way of asking the victim, do you have where to stay, or something like that. That means that the social worker is ready to provide accommodation or profile solution on assessing that accommodation, to know if the victim has money to pay for rent or has somewhere to stay. So the social worker should be empathic to put that in mind when asking such questions. That's having it in mind.
So what question is, what's the question used in your group for this, identifying resources?
Okay. My lab, I don't have access. Okay, let me bring, I just put on my laptop. Let me pull it out.
If you are making a presentation, you should have your material with you.
We are having light issues. Let me pull it up, ma.
Okay, while you do that, Sunny, is Sunny in class? Please get your materials out. This is not a one-man business. It's a group work. Is Sunny in class?
Hello, ma. Is this Sunny Olufalache or Sunny Ochefo?
Ochefo.
Okay.
Thank you. Barbara, finally, is Barbara in class? Absent. Okay. So who is in charge of group 6?
Hello, Nora.
Nora.
Hello, ma.
Yes, Nora, please go
Sorry,
ahead and.
Margaret here. Okay, sorry, Margaret here. I want to complete the providing resources and support.
Okay.
The question says, how can I best support you moving forward? Are there specific resources or services you would find helpful? Here, the social worker is making the client feel comfortable that she can provide help for her by helping her with resources, accommodation, money, and things to take care of herself. Because
really?
the victim
Social workers?
is possible.
Uh-huh.
Because it's possible that the victim is not working or doesn't have any resource, or doesn't have any resources to provide for her accommodation. It's possible that's why she's still under an abusive spouse. So it's likely that's why she's still there. But by the time the social worker gives her that support, making her understand that she can access resources to be able to leave that unsafe environment. So that's the solution. The question is proffering. That's by making the victim know that she can access all the support she needs. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Margaret. You were talking about identifying resources. And you kind of took it on a route that I'm not familiar with, because what you have here in your group work is the professional approach that is frame the question for the client to answer, a question that helps the client to first of all assess their situation. Would you say you are aware of any resources or associations that could help you in your situation? That's different from what you just shared with us, because social work is to empower people to help themselves, to stand on their own. So if a social worker is concerned about wanting to give money, whether the client doesn't have a job and all of that, that is not the place to start from. The place to start from is captured here in the question. Are you aware of any resources or associations that could help you? So when the client's self is coming up, you are helping the client to look for solution in themselves, around them. And that's the professional thing to do. So Nora, are you there?
Hello, good afternoon, ma. This is Barbara. I had to log out and log in again. I couldn't unmute myself. Probably I was muted. I don't know.
Okay, but you just finished sharing your point, right?
No.
I guess I marked you absent already. So Nora, group leader, are you there? The group leader is absent. Who is standing in for her?
Hello, ma. This is Mali Folake. I can stand in for her, ma.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So I need someone from your group to just round this off for us with a comparison of the last item. That's 10. The last item on both sides. Last item on the professional approach and the unprofessional approach. Just do a quick comparison for us and let's move on.
Okay, on the last item, Okay, we have for professional approach, we have absence of future planning. What are you going to do now? That's the question from the professional person. What are you going to do now? Instead of asking, what are you going to do now? Okay, for professional, that's actually the way to ask, because you just show empathy.
Excuse me, I'm a bit confused now. What's the question from the professional angle for future arrangements?
Okay, for future arrangements, okay, do you have any future goals or plans that you might want to share? So by making inquiry, you are giving the client chance to be relaxed and come out truthfully to you. You are not forcing the client to jump into conclusion, or you are encouraging the person to relax, to feel at home.
So what's the unprofessional angle? What's the unprofessional angle to that?
Okay, the unprofessional angle to that is, what are you going to do now? So you think you are okay now? You want to reframe the question. So you think you are okay now? That's the unprofessional way to say it.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much, Group 6. So that final aspect kind of summarizes the whole thing for us. You know, there are stages involved in conducting this kind of interviews, and we have mentioned some of them, like questions that would communicate safety concerns, questions that would communicate assessing support systems, questions that would help the client to identify resources available, questions that would help you as a social worker to record the incidents involved so far, questions that will help you look at the legal options, questions that will help you provide emotional support, and so on. So this last one has to do with questions that will help you or propel the client into future possibilities. So the professional question, according to this group, is, do you have any future goals or plans that you might want to share? You know, when you ask this kind of question, you are providing a small, manageable window for the client to work with goals or plans. That is a lot better than saying, what are you going to do now? That is the unprofessional question of engaging the client to look into the future. What do you think you are going to do now? You know, so you can see the difference. And this goes to show once again that our choice of words, our approach to asking questions can go a long way to reveal whether we are professional in what we are doing or not. If you met a client, or a victim of spousal abuse in your neighborhood, maybe your own sister or someone you know closely, a friend, and you are engaging that person in discussion, you can use whatever approach that pleases you. You are not under obligation to bring in your professionalism into that context. But when you step into your role as a social worker, you then need to be extremely mindful of the fact that there are specific professional ways in which interview questions are composed and presented. Not only the questions themselves, but the tone in which they are asked, the atmosphere in which they are asked. We've said a lot about all of these things. We've said a lot. So thank you very much, Group 6. I particularly like the fact that you captioned all the questions, putting them in categories of interest to address all the different aspects that are necessary to attend to that kind of case. It's a good job. Thank you very much. So we are on to group 3 now. Group 3 got the question of getting a suitable video clip and then telling us how they think principles of communication were upheld or flouted in the video. There are 8 members here. So who is in charge, please, group 3, to give us an overview? No one is in charge of group 3. Where is Selma? I can see the names of my good people here. Where are you guys? Okoro, Hamed, where are you? Selma, what's going on? Are you in church or something?
Hello, ma. Good afternoon, ma.
Good afternoon. Who is in charge of your group?
It's supposed to be Ahmed.
And where is Ahmed, for God's sake? I'm marking Ahmed absent right away.
Ahmed is around.
Okay, so who is giving us an overview?
Okay, let me just give you an introduction.
Thank you.
For the analysis of this principle of communication in a practical context, we picked a short Ghanaian film inspired by 2 events titled Father's Boy. Father's Boy is about an 11-year-old boy who was constantly abused verbally and physically by his father. This subtitle covers form of how child abuse can be carried out, how dangerous it can be, and how little or no data has been collected such occurrences in Ghana. From our assignment, we said we should get a suitable video clip, study its content carefully, and discuss principles of communication upheld and flouted in the interaction of the participants. And from what we know.
Thank you. I think that thank you. Thank you. So I got the video. It's a good one. I don't know if you shared it on I don't know if you shared it on your students' platform, but it's a good one. I think I've seen it once, but it was okay going through it again. So what are the principles? Please, one after the other, group 6 members, quickly. What principle did you notice was flouted or upheld in the video? Akia. Absent. Abdulaziz. Absent. Olafimiho. Absent. Mustafa. Mustafa Ibuku. Mustafa, welcome back, Nora. Mustafa Ibuku. I don't like this group one bit. Onakoya Tolulope. Tolulope Onakoya.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon. At last, one voice from group 3. Hey. Okay, quickly. Just give us a principle that was upheld in that video. Start with the one that was upheld.
Okay. Principle of consistency. was upheld
Consistency.
by consistency. Then
Okay,
another
go ahead.
principle of
How
clarity.
now? Tell us how consistency was upheld. How was the principle of consistency
was upheld by Paco at every conversation the young boy had with people he met in the course of selling lemons? He kept saying that the father told him not to come back with the goods. So that was the principle of consistency that the boy displayed. The father said he must make sure he sold all the lemons, despite he was advised by the water seller to stop selling lemon to people. That the father asked him to come back home until he sold it. So that was his response for people when they told him that is this you selling this? Why didn't you sell what I said? My father said I must sell this, I must not come back with the products. So that was the consistency.
Thank you. Consistency. Yes, that means staying with your message, sticking with your message, sticking with your principle, sticking with your procedure. Yes. Not telling a client for your condition, it's good to sleep early. You tell a client that today, then in the next meeting, you're telling the client you need to stay up late to do this and to do that. So in that video, the little boy had about 3 encounters with 3 different people, and he kept saying the same thing, despite the fact that at least the last encounter with the man who eventually bought the lemon was in a different place. But the guy stuck with his message, and that was an example of being consistent. Olaniro, are you there? Olaniro, Andrew is absent. Okoro, Progress, are you there? Group 3, this is not nice at all. Even your work was kind of shoddy. That analysis was not properly done. And there are 8 of you. That isn't good enough. Okay, can anyone in this group tell us a principle that was flouted?
Hello, ma.
Go ahead, please.
Hello, ma.
Go ahead.
The principle of communication floated in the movie. One is a principle of clarity, was floated by the first man. When the boy raised the bag of lemon towards the customer without saying a word, the guy was like, what's the meaning of this? What is he trying to?
So was it the man that flouted the principle or the boy? The boy was raising up the bags of lemons without saying a word.
Lemon.
The boy was holding lemons without saying a word. So who flouted the principle of clarity? Was it the man or the boy?
It's the boy. It's the boy. Because
it's the boy.
The boy did not say the boy.
He didn't. Yeah, he didn't give.
The man expected.
Hello, hold on, please. You kept saying the man, and that is what is here in your write-up. It doesn't work that way. It is the sender of the message that has the responsibility of providing clarity. So it is the boy holding up the lemons that should go ahead and provide other messages supporting the holding up of the lemon with verbal expressions that will make it clear what exactly he wanted the man to do. Because holding up 2 bags of lemon and not saying a word could mean 1,001 things. So it was the boy that flouted the principle of clarity. Another problem with this work is, I can see that your group is saying that the principle of feedback was flouted by the boy selling water who asked Paco or that the boy selling the lemon did not respond, and that that flouted the principle of feedback, and that he greeted the second customer, "Good afternoon." Instead of responding, he shouted at him, "Hey, back off." When someone shouts at another person, "Hey, back off," is that not feedback? That is feedback. Who is that person bothering us? Ochefo, Sonny, you've been absent. Now you're back. You won't let us have our class in peace.
I'm sorry, ma. I was on transit. That's why. Sorry, ma.
Please mute your mic right away.
Okay, thank you, ma.
Is that the best way to call attention to yourself, to let us know you are now in class? Okay, so group 3, your work leaves a lot to be desired, and that's a very interesting topic that I was looking forward to. Even your comment on sensory involvement is completely wrong. It says the principle of sensory involvement was upheld by the boy when the father saw the extra money at his back pocket and asked him to bring the cane. He knew he's going to be punished for not showing him the extra money. That is not true. That is not applicable. You can say, for example, that the boy upheld the principle of sensory involvement by he was always holding up the bags of lemon. He was always holding them up for the person to see, whoever he was talking to. And sensory involvement is the principle that says if there are additional things you can use to pass your message across outside of just talking, do it. If you can appeal, like when you are presenting a message, you try to appeal to as many senses as possible. If there's something the client can see, show them. If there's something they can smell, let them smell it. If there's something they can touch, let them touch it, all in a bid to get the message across. If you are trying, for example, to help a client differentiate between medications, for example, you can use the sense of smell. Say, oh, this is spirit. This is the smell of spirit. This is iodine. This is the smell. That's a sensory involvement. So this talk about bringing the cane doesn't add up. Then the principle of one last thing I want to say here is the flouting of the principle of consistency by the boy's father. When the boy eventually got home and gave the father the money, the father was happy and he wanted to give the boy 2 cedis out of the money for food. But then he changed his mind. He said, "You are too fat in the first place. You don't need that much food. Let me give you just 1 cedi." And he did that. And while the boy was walking away in a dejected manner, the father called him and said, "You know you are father's boy. You know you are father's boy. I didn't say you shouldn't come back home. I didn't mean it. I just wanted to use it to motivate you." Using that kind of thing to motivate an 11-year-old boy. Telling an 11-year-old boy, "Don't come back to this house until all the lemons are sold." And then you turn around again to say that you know you are father's boy. I didn't mean it. Someone has to take care of us. That is a clear way of flouting the principle of consistency by Paco's father. I'm not sure that was mentioned in your report. So group 3, thank you. You do better, please, with group work, do better with teamwork, wherever you find yourself, maybe second semester or anything. This outing is not as good as I expected it to be. Okay, so we are with group 1 now. Group 1. Who is in charge of group 1?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Okay. Yeah.
Do I have the listing of your group?
Yes, ma'am.
I am not sure you put the names of group members on any of the things.
We are there. We are there, ma'am.
Please go ahead and give us an overview of what you did.
Our own is just to design the form, the parents student feedback form, the form to fill the social welfare intake form, and also the medical aspect of it.
Who is speaking, please?
My name is Bukola, ma'am.
Are you the group leader?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, the form to be filled by the parents, the social worker, the medical, the intake assessment form. That is exactly what we design, and the code. So we sent the link as well.
Okay, that's a very good one.
Yes, ma'am.
There are some members of your group whose registration numbers are not showing. I don't know why that is the case. Am I more Alice?
Yes.
What's the issue?
I really don't know. I think our admin will be able to.
Well, who compiles the list?
I did, ma.
But you don't have the reg numbers. Why didn't you just ask them to give you?
Because of the submission, the timing was actually we are exhausted with the time, so I had to just quickly forward so that we don't.
But is it possible for someone to participate in a group work and not forward their reg numbers?
Hello, ma'am.
If I may say something, we just decided to forward.
Yeah, who wants to say something?
It's Georgia Lagasejele. I'm in that group. I'm one of those that didn't forward their registration numbers because the time I was told to, I wasn't online then. By the time I saw it, some hours later, it had been submitted. And I think I tried to reach out to you. I think so, to submit my name and 2 others. I think
reach out to who?
I think I sent you a mail. I'm not sure. To say myself and 2 others. We are 3. I didn't have their red numbers.
No, we are sorry. We'll send it to you now.
Let this group be as coordinated as you did. A good job with your assignment. So I don't think it's something as small as this that you create this kind of scenario.
Yeah, sorry about that, ma'am. We'll do better.
So what would you want to share with us is Olga Emmanuel in class on the feedback form. What are the important aspects of your feedback form? Alade Dominion, are you there? Abioye Deborah, are you there? Georgia, what would you like to share with us on the feedback form? I mean, the parent-student feedback form.
I'm not prepared for the parent-student feedback form. I'm sorry, I have the patient feedback form.
Why is that? Your assignment is just one. Can you talk about the intake form? Everyone should be able to talk about that.
Okay, you mean the social welfare
intake form?
Okay, it consists of the student details. Then we will, in that
Who
form.
is speaking, please?
My name is Bukalama.
How did you? I called Georgia.
Sorry.
Yes, ma'am.
Is Georgia? Can you talk to us about the intake form?
I have the medical social work intake form, ma'am.
So there is only one intake form forwarded by your group.
Yeah, okay. So it has information, personal information. Yeah, everything that has to do with personal data, name, number, address, gender, and then some personal health information as well.
Okay. Who else is there in group 1? Who else is there in group 1?
Now, Florence is here, ma.
Who?
Florence. Florence. Audrey Florence.
Audrey, go ahead, please.
Okay, for which one, ma? I have the
Can
intake
you say
assessment form.
Intake assessment form?
Yes, ma. Should I go ahead with that?
Yeah. I'm beginning to get confused. Go ahead,
should
please.
I do the patient feedback form?
Go ahead with that one.
Okay.
Which one are you talking about now?
The patient feedback form.
So what's that for?
Is the feedback form for the patient.
We have both intake assessment form and patient feedback form. So she is talking on the patient feedback form.
And I said, what is it for?
Mine is for the medical aspect.
Huh.
For the patient,
Medical aspect for the patient? I understand that people in this, guys, I understand that people on this course are generally very busy people. I know, I understand that. But, just for you to be able to speak a little, 1 minute, 2 minutes, to something your group worked on for about 3-4 weeks, I don't think that is too much to ask.
It's not too much, ma. Can I continue?
Well, very sorry, ma. I'd like to speak on. My name is Alice Maimo. I'd like to speak on both the intake form and feedback form of the school, and for the medical social workers, if I may, ma.
Go ahead, please.
All right. In the intake assessment form, basically what we tried to do was to try to collect information about the school. That's for the students to know the type of problems the social worker and the counselor in the university, in the school would have to work on with the child. And it's also very important for us to note there that if there is a referral letter from a doctor to the school's counselor or social worker should also be noted there, and how we're supposed to work on the child or guide the child, or to guide us on the type of direction towards healing, or towards what's the progress should be for the child. And for the feedback form, it was the same, but this time around, we needed to know the quality of the effect of what the social worker has been doing with the child, to know if there is a progress or not, the parent can also see the progress, also knowing from the child's view and also the parent's view. That was what we put in the feedback form of the school. Then going back to the intake form for the hospital, what we tried to do there was we needed to have a general knowledge of the patient first before we proceed on knowing nitty-gritty information that might not really look important, but would look important for the social worker. At the same time, we wanted to know if there is something very serious also that was being noted, and the reason why the doctor could or may recommend, or the psychologist or psychiatrist could recommend the social worker in this situation. The feedback form is almost the same thing as such of the school, in the aspect that we needed to know if there is a progress, the quality of the assessment of the hospital and also the social worker in the field. I don't know if any of my colleagues have any other things to add about that.
Yeah, what I want to ask now, I don't know. I'm trying to, another problem I have is that the list of the group members here was typed directly. I mean, the names were typed directly onto the email. It wasn't attached to the assignment proper. So the implication is that I have to be on my email.
The body of the email. Yes, ma'am.
The implication is that I have to be on my email to even see who the group members are. But finally, please, I would need to ask someone who hasn't spoken up yet in this group. Thank you, Alice. That set a lot of things in place for me. So if Basi is in class, that's Ofyong Basi. Can you tell us the difference between the intake and the feedback form? Basi, if you are in class.
Hello, ma. Good afternoon, ma.
Good afternoon.
This is Michael Bassi here. Ma, generally, from as the name implies, feedback forms are basically used to get feedback from patients or from just to get to know what are the quality of service being rendered to a particular person. So I believe the feedback form is trying to get a general information about what the services the social worker is giving the doctors and all that. Is it of quality or not? Is the child protected or not? So the intake form
feedback.
Is to when you're trying. That's feedback, yeah.
Okay.
The intake form is to actually try to see if we can get, when one is trying to get the consent of the parent to know information about the patients and all that. Basically, I think that's what it is.
Okay. Thank you. I think I have to go back to take one more look at your intake form, because what I saw is social welfare, something like social welfare intake form for students. And that might be a little bit confusing, because the kind of form I was looking forward to seeing for the intake form would be a form that is used exclusively by social workers. Because when you have social welfare, there are social welfare officers that are not social workers. So I was looking for, oh, what mic would that be, for God's sake? Ioma, please, you need to mute your mic. Ioma, please mute your mic. Bukola too, please. Okay, so I'll take another look at that. But at least for those who spoke up, we were able to clarify a lot of things for us. So now I'm on group 5. And here I'm seeing I don't think I have a list of group members. Okay, it's down there at the base. Okay, who is in charge of group 5? Silence again. Who is in charge of group 5?
Good evening, ma'am.
Yes, please.
I am by name Chidimma.
Chidimma. Okay, Ugoji, thank you. Please give us a summary. What did you do?
Okay, our group was tasked with composing 3 social work related messages for 3 different people groups to be disseminated on traditional media. We were to discuss about the rationale for the message, the target groups, and the media chosen.
Thank you.
So
yeah, go ahead.
Okay, while working on that assignment, there are certain things we looked at for our message to be more effective. We looked at the message appearing to understand the target audience that is meant for, acknowledging the challenges they face in accessing resource and support. We also looked at our message being clear and straightforward, addressing our target audience directly and offering assistance in finding this support and resource. We also looked at our message being able to persuade our target group to seek for help by emphasizing that they are not alone in their various struggles. We specifically took note of the tone of our message. We want our message to sound supportive and empathetic, which is likely to resonate with our target groups facing challenges related to whatsoever field. Thank you, ma'am.
That's beautiful, Chidimma. That's a very good start. So Alice, are you there? What's the traditional media that were used, that you chose in your group? What's the traditional media? Okay, Oduayo, can you help us? There were 3 messages. So what are the media that you use for the 3 messages?
Jesus.
But I told you,
hello,
everybody should know something. Who is speaking, please?
Hello, ma. Please, I'm on transit.
Who is speaking?
Please, can I help her out, ma'am? She's on transit and her network is bad. So this is great.
Who is that?
One name Odnachi. She's on transit. She's traveling.
I didn't even call that name, did I?
Okay. You know, this is our group.
I can't see that name on the list.
Maybe she misunderstood the group. You know, we have similar topic with group.
Thank you. Yes, I think I get it now.
All right.
So
one is in group 4. One is in group 4.
Okay.
Yes, she's
so
in
Oduayo, is Oduayo in class? Abiola?
Good afternoon, ma.
Yes, please. Quickly tell us, what are the traditional media that your group chose?
The traditional media, we choose elderly individual facing solution.
No. That's not traditional media.
For a client struggling with substance abuse.
No. That's not media. Itua, please, are you in class?
We choose target, rational, and target.
Please, what are the traditional media chosen by your group?
I can't hear anything. Not there.
Hello, ma.
I'm inside the water. I'm on transit inside water, please, ma'am. I hear the boat sound. Please, I thought before it got to my turn, I would have gotten to my destination. I'm inside water.
It's okay. It's okay. Clapperton, can you mute your mic? Mute your mic, please, Itua. Clapperton, traditional media that was chosen by your group.
Hello, ma.
Hello, ma.
Yes, please.
So we're talking about
One day,
publishing
this
a
is not our
letter.
group. One day, please, this is not our group.
Okay, thank you.
Club speaking, ma.
I called Clapperton. Clapperton is in this group.
Yes, ma. The traditional
So what's the
media
traditional media?
Yes, we use
newspaper.
Is that Clapperton?
Television.
How many people are
This is
talking, for God's sake? Okay, go ahead.
Clapperton is-
Akiade, please mute your mic.
Yes, ma. The traditional media we use radio station, newspaper, television. Yes, ma. These are
Very
some of
good.
the traditional media we.
Good. So why did you choose that? For which audience?
Yes, for the
We're with you. I think Clapperton lost connection. Gabriel. Rachel, Gabriel.
Yes, hello, good afternoon, ma.
Is that Gabriel?
Yes, ma, it's Gabriel.
Why did you choose television channel, for example, for a client struggling with substance abuse? Message should be for 3 different people, not individuals. Or maybe we should take it as individuals struggling with substance abuse, not a client struggling with substance. So if you are looking at individuals struggling with substance abuse and you are choosing television channel, what is the rationale? Why did you choose television channel for sending out a message to individuals struggling with substance abuse?
Sorry, I'm back. It was network. Hello, ma'am.
Hello.
Yes, I'm back. In fact, I was having network challenge.
Yeah, we understood that and we let you go already.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, you can mute your mic. Someone else is on. Thank you. Your response was good. Thank you. So we are back to you, Gabriel.
Yes, ma. Sorry, I lost my connection.
Okay, so I think
yes,
the pattern. Go ahead.
Hello, ma. The reason you asked, what's the reason for using television channel?
For individuals struggling with substance abuse.
Yes, ma. We chose the television because we felt like if they can see and hear us using the television media, it will better explain or get our message through to them. Not just maybe holding a program or maybe even through adverts also on the television, showing how empathetic we are towards them also and getting our message straight to them.
Okay, so group 5 members, do you think television is the best traditional media option for individuals struggling with substance abuse? I totally agree with your choice of a newspaper for elderly individuals facing isolation. Newspaper bulletins, I totally agree with that. Newsletters. But television for individuals struggling with substance abuse. Can you justify that a little? Anybody? And that's my
Okay,
last
ma'am.
question for group 5.
All right, ma'am. We felt that individuals struggling with substance abuse, using our present day as an example, they are more of the younger generations. So they are more attractive to visuals, what they see. So we felt that that would be more captivating and appealing for them. Yes, ma'am.
So if you were not limited to traditional media, would you have made a different choice?
I would have gone for social media, ma'am.
All right.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you very much, group 5. I think that's a good one. Thank you so much. Okay. So we're on to group 2 now.
You didn't mention my name, ma.
And what's your name, please?
Akiade Grace.
Are you sure I didn't?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Your attendance is marked.
Oh, thank you, ma'am.
Hello, ma. This is Alice again. I was struggling to get back to the class, but the network is not allowing me. I was complaining from the group chat. I just log in back now, ma.
You're welcome.
Yes, ma'am.
Group 2, please.
Good afternoon, ma.
Good afternoon. Who is in charge? Is that you?
Yes, ma'am. Let me talk about the class governor.
Yes. Please go ahead and give us an overview.
Okay, ma. For group 2, our question was to treat them 7 non-verbal ways in which people from any cultural background communicate in social work, and we should speak to any of the cultural groups in Nigeria. So without wasting much time, we just gave a brief introduction about communication, which we are all aware about. We talked on the information and communication system in social work, which deals with both basic and complicated difficulties disturbing the welfare and wellness of individuals, hence the importance of communication in social work. We looked at the qualities of good communication in social work. We also looked at methods of communication in social work, which could be interpersonal, intrapersonal, public, written, or communication with the use of mediators. We also looked at types of communication in social work. We're just giving a little background about all this before we went straight to the main work, which is the 7 non-verbal ways in which people from which some of the Nigerian cultural background communicates their cultural beliefs in social work. And then we described that they use things like gestures, facial expressions, proxemics or space, dress codes and appearance, and then
Thank you, Temitope. Thank you.
Okay, ma'am.
Your class, your group work, it's almost a research project. Thank you very much. You went over and beyond. That's a good one. Thank you, group 2.
Thank you.
Biala, can you just tell us one after the other group members, if you are here? If you mention your name, I'll just mark you present. So what are some of these non-verbal things identified? Just one.
Okay, my name is Duru Blessing. One of the verbal elements we identified is eye contact, gesture.
Non-verbal. Just one.
Okay, eye contact. Yeah.
Yeah, how does that happen?
This happens when, like this morning, we took a course on dynamics of family, and we were taught about grieving and how we can counsel somebody who is grieving as a result of the loss of loved one or property or even a child or even employment. So as a counselor, the platform of social work, when you are having one-on-one conversation with this person, it's important to look directly to the eyes of the person.
No, you are taking us out of our context. We are in the Nigerian setting, cultural setting now. And you are telling us that in some cultural settings in Nigeria, people use eye contact as a form of non-verbal communication. Yes. How does that happen?
For instance, in the Igbo setting, for instance,
thank
you
you.
use eye contact as a sign of respect. So when your elder is speaking to you, as an Igbo person, it's expected that you don't look directly to the eyes of this person. You put your eyes down. Yes, so that's one of the examples for it.
Okay, thank you. Who else?
Yeah, good afternoon, ma. Sam Akinwale on the line.
All right, thank you.
All right, as one of the 7 non-verbal cues that we identify which people in any Nigerian cultural background, communicate with, we identified silence as one of it. Almost in all of the major tribe and ethnic group we have in Nigeria, when an elderly person is talking, it is golden that the younger one is silent to really listen, to receive the information and the instruction that is being, dished out. It conveys a kind of respect, reflection. Sometimes it could be that you want to listen to properly understand what the person is saying before you give, your reaction. When someone is talking to you, maybe an elderly person, and you are interjecting or you are talking in between, it's seen as a sign of disrespect, for the elderly. Or maybe even
is it possible for, sorry please for cutting you short, is it possible for silence to also be seen as a sign of disrespect sometimes?
Yes, actually, that's what I'm saying now. I mean, silence sometimes, yes, disrespect. It depends. Yes, yes. Sometimes when someone is talking to you and the person is expecting a feedback and you are not saying anything, it's a sign of disrespect. You understand? There's no feedback coming from your end. So it can also be seen as a sign of disrespect.
Like ignoring, like you're ignoring the person.
You're snubbing the person off.
Exactly, that's a good word. Yes, that's snubbing. Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Next person.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Yeah.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Go ahead, please.
Please, ma'am, I am from our group work. We also identify dress code and appearance.
Who is speaking?
Imaika Akman.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
Different cultures have their different attires, which signify their cultural heritage. Like for the Hausa men wear babariga.
So what do they try to communicate with what they wear?
Their culture and their beliefs.
Okay. So how does a Yoruba person communicate their belief through what they wear?
Okay, for the Yoruba people. Yoruba people, okay, like during celebration, mostly what is being worn is how do they call it, to ashoke?
Yeah,
like
beautiful.
Maybe when somebody is getting married,
I think yes, I have my answer already. When let me say Yoruba people are going out, just by seeing the way the person is dressed, you can tell that the person is going for a celebration, a flamboyant occasion. So that's a non-verbal, even if you don't know the person, if you can't speak with the person to ask, just by looking at the attire, maybe a male or a female, you can tell. So that means the person has been able to communicate with you through his or her dressing. Thank you very much. This group is really doing well. Good afternoon.
Yeah, my name is Adekimi Bamdelema.
Go ahead, please.
Yeah, so one of the non-verbal ways of communication in Yoruba land as a cultural group is body language.
Okay.
So this can be seen from the family line when bringing up a kid. Take, for example, your father is talking to you. You are expected to position your body and you face downward. The moment you are looking, your father is talking to you, and you are looking at your father's eyes, you can receive a slap because it's seen as a sign of disrespect. So the way you position your body takes a lot about your attitude. Are you accepting this communication, or are you refusing it, or are you disobeying what they are passing on to you? Then you can use your body language to communicate onto someone so that just do what you are doing and let it go. because the way they will be shaking their body, their facial expression, the way they will be blinking it without talking, is like, who the hell are you? Things like that. But if you present your body language in a very calm manner, there's a way you can provide your body and you'll be sober, looking down, shedding tears, going on
Even
nails.
if you don't mean it inside, at least you get the message across.
You can pass the message. Oh, this lady is sober. Is changing art, etc. Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. My
Yeah.
name is Nhoma. Okay, another non-verbal way is in the Igbo land is the presenting of the kola nut.
Okay.
Once there's a community meeting and the kola nut is brought out, it signifies that you are welcoming the next community, or maybe a parent of a bride or something. And then when there's a dispute, after the dispute, they also break kola nuts to show that that they've made peace.
Beautiful.
Themselves.
Beautiful.
And then
so if you are in a gathering and you see that kola nut is being brought out to be broken, you can know, even if you don't speak the language, you know that that's a peaceful gathering. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah. Okay. Are we done with this group? So I don't know. Is Balogo in class? I didn't hear anything. And then Shadrach. And then Pamela. I didn't hear anything from any of these people.
Good afternoon, ma. For Balogun and Nike, she's not feeling well, ma. In fact, she's hospitalized. So she sent me a message yesterday.
You should have mentioned, what if I didn't call out her name? You should have said that from the beginning.
I'm sorry,
you would have
ma.
done her a service by not passing the message across.
Oh, I'm
Please
so sorry,
give her my best wishes for a speedy recovery.
Thank you, ma.
All right. So thank you very much, Group 2. This is cheering. This is encouraging. God bless you all. Finally, I have some problems with this Group 4. Let me see if I can find a space in my heart to forgive them.
Please, ma. Please, ma, we're so sorry, ma.
Forgive us, ma.
Forgive us, ma.
Please, who is in charge of Group 4?
Well, we are just working as a team, ma.
Okay,
we're
good.
working as a
the
team.
body
Now.
language
We
of
don't actually
Group 4, even if they don't mean it, your body language, your tone is showing that you are remorseful. So
yes, ma.
Thank
you, ma. God bless
let's
you.
go ahead and do this. So who is taking up for summary?
Okay, Marianne Adegoke. I'll just do an overview, ma.
Thank you.
Okay. So we were tasked with the assignment of or rather, our question reads the compose 3 social work related messages for 3 different people groups to be disseminated on social media. And what is the rationale for the message, the target groups, and the media? So we decided to go with WhatsApp and Facebook and newsletters as well. We're looking at the teenagers, the parents, and the elderly. So for the teenagers, they made use of WhatsApp and Facebook because a lot of them are always online on these media platforms and even on Snapchat. So we're able to drop catchy messages for them that will make them feel they belong. Okay. An example is, hey teens, feeling stressed or overwhelmed? Remember, you're not alone. Reach out to a school counselor or a trusted adult for support. You've got this, and advertising our helpline. Hey teens, need someone to talk to? Our teen helpline is here for you 24/7, no judgment, just a listening ear. You deserve support and understanding. We also talk about them having safe spaces to express themselves. We also encourage them to join our virtual teen support groups, share their experiences, you know, and find their tribe, because teenagers like using such languages, you know. So yeah, for the teenagers, and we feel that the rationale. Let me jump on the other group before we start talking about the rationale.
Yeah, you said enough. Thank you.
Okay. Okay.
So I'm interested in that WhatsApp message thing. So how is that going to be done? The message is beautiful, but how is it going to be done? Is it like you're going to have a WhatsApp platform, or how is it, or just sending out mass WhatsApp messages? Or I don't quite get it.
Okay, you know, sometimes there's a database. Sometimes there's a database in some schools, in some faith-based organizations. We have a database, and through other teenagers, we get to know about their other friends who are going through stuff. So we get their numbers as well, and we're able to send out bulk messages. We're able to form WhatsApp groups that they can also invite their own friends to join in and express themselves without judgment.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yes.
So, other group members, please. I would like you to speak to that as the aspect of the rationale of the message and the medium. Let's start with that of the elderly's message. Anyone, please. What's the rationale for the choice of that message and the medium through which you are sending it?
Good afternoon, ma'am. This is Grace on the line.
Thank you.
Yeah, the rationale for the group message for the elderly. We looked at it because the elderly, most of the time, they're always lonely. Okay, so we looked at it and promoting their well-being among the elderly, then also address their unique challenges such as health issues, loss of loved ones, and potential loss of independence. So the social worker will look at it from the angle that these senior citizens need to access the medical care, the emotional support, the opportunities they need to enhance their quality of life. That you are elderly.
Thank you. Can someone else talk about the media that you have chosen for reaching out to this group? Older adults, grandparents, elders. Maduago, are you there?
Yeah, she's on transit, ma'am. I think that her network is really disturbing. She has been on and off and on.
Okay,
she's traveling from Roma here to Enugu.
Okay. So who is speaking now? Who is speaking?
Can you log in? No one. I've taken. Yeah, I've done that. Thank you.
Oladele. Oladele Yanolua. Okoro. Uma. Is Uma Deborah in class? Ahmed Olaiwola. Almost everyone in this group is absent. Ojomo. This is serious. Jimo.
Hello, mommy. Hello, ma.
Yes, please.
It's Okoro Nayama. So that
thank you.
Thank you, ma. I want to say that based on the medians that our elderly ones, even the parents and the teenagers too, has some platforms in village settings that used to carry them along in information on what is obtainable in the society, even on health sector, in school sector, even in the cultural norms. That platform will help them, even in Facebooks, to see a lot of things that are happening and how counselors used to attend to people that find themselves in such conditions, more especially on the aspect of e-health, more especially the community leaders. Many at times, we result that they should be gathered together and they educate them on how to care for themselves at the early
But
stage.
according to your group, the media that you chose for reaching out to this group, what are they?
Yeah,
what are the? Your network is problematic, but I appreciate the efforts. Thank you, Okoro. Can you mute your mic, please? Okoro, please mute your mic.
Okay.
Thank you. Marianne.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you take it up? Yes. Please take it up and round it off. I'm interested in that media that you chose for the elderly group. Can you talk about it?
Okay, ma. The elderly group, you would be surprised to find that most of our parents, they belong to various WhatsApp groups, various Facebook groups, you know, and they're always sending, yes, they're always sending broadcast messages to us, forwarded messages here and there. So we found this is a very good medium to reach out to these elderly loved ones, to infiltrate some of their groups through our own parents as well. We send them messages and ask them to forward to their mates. So they keep circulating these messages, and you know, they're able to get information that they need from these forwarded messages.
So how do we balance? How do we balance the game for senior citizens that may not be digitally oriented at all?
Can I come in, ma?
Go ahead, please. Thank you.
All right. Since we have so many of them, like my colleague has rightly said, the WhatsApp and the Facebook. Another one we can talk about is the community meetings. Okay? Because they are always indoors or they are always available. So they reach out to themselves by going for community meetings. Like, let me take an example, the military setting. There is a place in Ojo, Alaba, I don't know. They have a place they call post housing. Okay, so that's where all the militaries that are retired, some of them, they go there and acquire a land and build. So you see them coming together to form a community. They are having their meetings at intervals. So I think it's one of the ways to can still reach out to the senior citizens.
Thank you. You know, although your question is focused on social media, and you were free to choose any group of people that you can reach via social media.
Yeah.
So I was a bit concerned about the fact that you chose the elderly even for social media. But like one of you said, there are a reasonable number of old people, elderly people who can use WhatsApp.
Yes, in fact, so many of them.
If we should put that on a percentage, I am sure that the percentage of elderly people using social media will be lower than that of young adults and teenagers. So I would have thought that probably, since this question focuses on the use of social media, that you would want to focus on another group, other groups outside of the elderly. That's my thought. I was surprised to see that you brought in the elderly into this space where we are talking about social media. I'm not saying they can be totally excluded, but it might not serve them as fully as we would expect it to. You started talking about meetings, for example. You know, things like that can help them more, like meeting them up in their places of worship, engaging them in maybe sensitization, door to door, you know, things like that. or just passing around leaflets like handbills and things like that, leaving it on the pouch and things like that can maybe serve them better than expecting them to catch up with messages on social media. My mom, she might be off for 2 weeks. She might be, she's off and on. It's a struggle. So maybe, within the group of teens, instead of lumping all teenagers together, you can have messages for teenagers struggling with the academics, students struggling, having academic challenges. Then you can have young adults struggling with maybe substance abuse. Then you can have young parents of young children or struggling parents, something within the age group of people who are really into social media would have would have steered you clear of my interrogation as I am doing it now. But on the whole, thank you very much. It's a good job.
Thank you, ma'am.
The messages are sound. The messages are sensitive. The messages you compose, they are sensitive, they are interesting. I love them.
Thank you, ma'am.
Hey teens, looking for a safe place to express yourself and connect with others? Join our virtual teen support group. Share experiences, make friends, and find your tribe. That's a very good one. So thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. God bless you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma.
Yeah. So with that, hello, please.
Hello, ma. So sorry, I'm on transit and the network keeps throwing me out of the class, please. So sorry,
Who
ma.
is speaking?
I am Mother Dugo One Nodinachi.
Yeah. Someone made a case for you recently.
Okay, thank you very much, ma'am.
It's okay. Yeah, thank you. So thank you very much, everyone who, despite the fact that they knew they could hide behind the effort of others, still went out of their ways to put in one or two things. It's not easy. Like I was asking the other time, is it too much to ask? Somebody said it's too much to ask. There's a lot of complications here and there for different kinds of people juggling different kinds of things. But when you sign up for something, you just try to make the little effort it will take for you to do what you're supposed to do. So thank you so much. Those of you that did the work, you know yourselves. Those of you that didn't do anything, you know yourselves. So my thanks is to those who did the job. And to those who didn't do the job but took time to read what others did so they could speak to it. That's also part of your contribution. So thank you very much. So finally, we are here. And exams is just right here before us. I have given out the notes in 2 units. The first note is for sections 1 and 2. That's for the first 2 weeks. And the second is for 3 and 4. Please, you might find some very annoying typos in the notes. I just crave your indulgence to not let those typos bother you. I'm going to have to sit down to look at them again. I think there was some hurry in putting the notes together. But please, I'll just implore you. I need you to know that for a communication course, it will be absurd for the exam to be confusing or to be complicated. So most of the questions you will see are things that general practical things we've been talking about. This is not a course over which you have to read your heads off. It's the practical skills that we're talking about that I'll be asking you about. I'm not going to be asking tough questions that require you memorizing this and memorizing that. But at the same time, go through the notes. As you're going through the notes, remember the practical things we talked about the principles, about the process, for example, the communication process. You look at that diagram again and see if you can understand the elements and the responsibility of each units, of each element in the process. The source, for example, is the sender. What is the responsibility of the sender of the message? We're saying the other time that is the sender that is responsible to uphold the principle of clarity, principle of adequacy, principle of consistency. A lot of responsibility lies on the sender. And then we said that the process of communication is not complete until you have the feedback. So those are the things I need you to remember. If you've been attending classes, if you've been hearing our gists, just the things we gist about in class, I'm telling you, even without reading your notes, you can be sure of 50% pass, if not 60. So just relax, go through your notes. At the end of the exam, you'll see that all I want is for you to be able to apply these things, not necessarily just the head knowledge. So I don't know if there's any major thing anyone is grappling with that you feel, if I should see this in the exam, I'll be totally thrown off balance. If there's any such thing, you can raise it now so that we can quickly address it.
Hello, ma. Good afternoon, ma.
Good afternoon.
Okay, my name is Waimo Pamela.
Thank you.
You called me, but I was on transit and network was fluctuating really bad.
Oh, we can sort out all the absenteeism issues with the class governor and myself later. But
Okay,
this remaining few minutes, if you don't mind, let's see if anyone would need any clarity as they prepare for the exams, or any clarifications, I mean, in the next few minutes. If you'll be needing any clarification on any aspect of what we've learned, you can let us know now.
Yeah, please, ma'am, this is Grace on the line.
Yes, please.
Please, I want to know the nature of the exams, the examination. Is it subjective, OBJ, or theory? Because
it's all OBJ, multiple choice, 4 options. I think 40 questions.
Okay.
Yes, all multiple choice questions. And that's the pattern for all your exams.
Okay, okay.
Yes, yes.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. I appreciate it.
Yes, ma'am.
Hello, mommy. Hello, mommy.
Yes, so yes,
It's
mommy.
Mommy. Please,
yes,
ma,
go ahead.
Please, can you clarify us more on that diagram? Whenever I come across this, I used to fear. Please.
You mean the
diagram,
the communication process?
Yes.
The one with I just saw it now.
The one on top, message, source / encoding, channel.
Encoding.
Decoding.
See that encoding, is encoding.
Yes, ma'am.
I think you should just correct it now.
Okay, encoding.
EN.
Okay, okay.
Encode.
Okay.
So quickly, you know, what that is about is to show you what happens when we communicate. Okay. The source now is the person that initiates the process.
Okay.
As a social worker, when you engage a client, you become the source. You are the one who wants to share information. You are the one who must have booked the appointment.
Okay.
You have to be the source of the information. Otherwise, the client will take over the intervention from you.
Okay.
So as the source, you encode your message, because the message you have is in your mind. What
Yes,
you want to pass across is still in your mind.
Yes,
So you have to put it together. That's the encoding. You put it together, you gather the message in your mind, and right there, you decide what to say, what not to say, what to say at the moment, what to say for later. All of those are part of the encoding. If you are multilingual or bilingual, for example, at that point, you decide what language you're going to use to pass the message. If you can speak Hausa and English, and your client cannot speak Hausa, you have to use English. That's part of the encoding. Okay. Then after the encoding is done internally. Yes. Then you pick your channel. It's still the source. It's still the sender that is responsible for encoding, that is responsible for picking the channel. Okay. The source has encoded the message and will now decide on a channel. Am I going to say this thing verbally? Am I going to write it? Am I sending an email? Am I using body language to communicate this? Am I using my tone to communicate this? Am I making a phone call? All of those are the examples of channels of communication. Okay. So by the time you pick your channel, the message goes out. Okay. And at the moment the message goes out, it goes to the receiver. That space for decoding is where the receiver is. You can add receiver to that. So the receiver is the one who does the decoding. Okay. It is the job of the receiver to decode, to break your message down, to try to make sense of it. The sender cannot do that for any receiver. You can only make your message as straightforward as possible. You can make it as clear as possible. You can make it as adequate as possible, but you cannot do the decoding for the receiver. Okay. So from the decoding, it gets to, after the decoding is done by the receiver, then the receiver takes over and sends the feedback. You can see the arrow of the feedback going.
Yes, yes.
From the receiver back to the source. Okay. So you can see the arrow of the message going from the source all the way to the receiver. Okay. All right. So we conclude because of this that no instance of communication is complete until you have received your feedback. Okay. As a professional, the moment you begin the process by encoding your message, your heart, your mind must be on feedback. Okay. The response you're going to get, that is what will inform the message you will send again. That's why it's like a circle. You can see there's no space, nothing is broken. It's a cycle moving. When you get the receiver sends you the feedback, it will help you to generate another message, and then you send it to the receiver again, and it goes on and on until that engagement is done. So that diagram is just describing the process through which we communicate, so that we will not think that communication is all about us. As I'm speaking now, there's a tendency for me to think that all that is involved in this is what I'm saying. But that is the wrong notion of communication. Professionals need to understand that there is a lot of other elements involved, and that you are not done until the feedback you get tells you that the message has been properly decoded.
Thank you so much, my prof. Thank you so much. Yeah, my prof.
It's my pleasure. It's my pleasure. Yeah. So we're running out of time. And I want to believe that we have done well enough. In case you are reading my notes and anything is confusing, please reach out to me. The class governor has my contact. I'll be willing to answer any question any day until your exam date. So if you can, if you have my contact, you can send me a WhatsApp message. You can send me a voice note. I can also reach out to you through that channel as well. So thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. It has been a beautiful, beautiful ride with you. I wish you all the best in your future endeavors.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you very much, ma.
Thank you, ma'am.
All right, bye. All the best.
Bye.
Bye.
Some sign of relief, I'm sure.
Class governor.
Ma?
Please help us to rectify this. We're all, most of us, we were online. When they called us, we did not even know. Please.
Okay, ma, I
to
think you
help
should
us.
speak for yourself. I've gotten your own message. I will
I
tell
was
her.
online. Okay.
Yes, I
Thank
saw
you.
that you were online. I didn't know what happened. Because
It
I
was
saw you were online
network.
while she was calling you.
Network. I didn't even hear when she called me.
No problem.
Network.
We'll
I was
sort
on
it.
transit. I was
No, this is
driving.
Barbara. Me, I heard when she called Barbara, but I couldn't unmute. So I was wondering if somebody muted everybody.
Class governor, please say